All right, is everyone ready?
Yep.
See if the music actually works this time.
Ready is very arbitrary.
Good point. Captain, if you can and give us a log.
Give me a minute.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
I was gonna put the forecast music on. All right. Main title.
Captain's log 55658.6 has been six days after our recently encountered with the Endalla. We are currently bringing Commander Shesherie to their homeworld. Well, to begin diplomatic talks. I'm hoping this will be a first contact and not a powder keg. And log.
Excellent. And go to the full map. These maps are getting so big. It's taking roll 20 a second. We last ended up here. You have managed to fly a few more squares, as you are just on the other side of the Federation border at this point, making your way to the Endallan homeworld. The last 6 days there have been nothing of note. No particular contacts, but the crew is really jumping it every time there's a comet or a rogue asteroid at the edge of sensor range, and there's a small group of people that starts to panic, like, oh god, what if that's another Endallan cruiser? So that's a thing that's going on. Let me get.
I'd like to discuss with the captain the possibility of examining the Endallan ship.
Yes. That was kind of in question, and whether or not you were just going to leave the Endallan ship or if you wanted to take it with you.
You know, we were towing it, right?
Yeah, you can tow it. It would just.
I was under the impression we were towing it.
Okay, I was kind of ambiguous about that.
And then we sent another one back with Pin.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'd like to look at it, but I don't want to cause a diplomatic incident over it since our guest is here. But
yes, the Endallan and guest has been in their diplomatic quarters, for lack of a better word. You don't have like full diplomatic suites like the Kismet or Starbase would have. But you have the nicer quarters. They're ones with windows. And
there's no bunk bed.
There's no bunk bed in this one. They've kept to themselves. If you want to interact with them if you want to interact with them, they're amenable to that. They do request about once a day that they go down to the cargo bay with the Yalto, and they pick a Yalto out, escort it back to the quarters, and closes the door. And that's all you need to know about that situation. Overall, all throughout the fleet, the Quaqua negotiations with the Quaqua over in the Tiger Squadron has come to a rocky start as Lithroid extremophiles attacks Actaquaqua City. It appears as that this was put in place by an extremist Quaqua group that wishes to sabotage diplomatic relations between the Quaqua Principality and the Federation for fear of it ruining their traditional way of life. But that situation is currently being dealt with by a Tiger Squadron, and it seems to be a small extremist group at this point. And nothing else of note around the galaxy. And at this point, we will move to the interior layer of our ship. And sound effects are still going. Excellent. You are halfway through your journey, and who would like to take a scene first?
Captain, what are your thoughts on doing an inspection on this ship? I'd like to see what's causing those, either the mental aberrations or the, however they're doing what they're doing to make it look like, one ship is another.
They probably have something to enhance the can psionics. Like how we have the psionic dampers, they probably have some form of the opposite.
Right, and I think it's important we figure out what and how they do it so we can have countermeasures for it. So do you think our guest would be amenable to us looking at that and his race losing that advantage, or should we do it anyway?
Sadly, he is our guest, and we don't spy on our guests.
Maybe we could ask him for a tour of the ship on his terms.
And I'll go on the tour if you guys get one.
Ask if he's fine, but I doubt that he'll allow with the ship in shambles.
Would you mind if I asked?
From a safety inspection.
We can offer to make repairs.
True, but I think he'll tend it down with the mindset of the chances of us. In case they know the true reason of you wanting to look at the ship.
Probably, but I don't think it would hurt to ask. Respectfully, anyway. I'd hate to miss the opportunity while we had it.
Well, I mean, you still get to ask him, and if he says no, just accept it.
Okay. What was that, El?
You're currently not in Federation space. You crossed over the border a few days ago.
We wouldn't be able to enforce a jurisdiction. Oh, wait.
refuse to tow it until you do a safety inspection. Is that the card you're pulling?
Yeah, that's what
That's could be an option.
Did he want us to tow it back, or was it just a courtesy?
It was just a courtesy on your part. They seemed ambivalent about it once they surrendered.
their ship's capable of warp speed at the moment.
It is not.
So they get
You are cutting out, L.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in a tunnel or something. Well, with the captain's blessing, I'll go ahead and go down to his quarters and make the attempt.
Okay, we can move into that scene. Would it just be yourself or?
I know that I'm going to get a sip wrap up about this to Naya and tell. I'm not coming. I'm talking to Naya.
You're talking to Naya?
Yeah, because they currently make. I know Naya wanted this to be peaceful, but they were making it hard to do so.
Yes, they are.
Yes, like for example, having game and also slightly cheating in that game by using their psionics to have them shoot a different target.
These are all good points. Would you do this privately or just in the conference room?
I'll do it in the conference room privately.
Okay. And would this be encrypted in any manner?
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be encrypted.
Yeah, there might be people listening in on this. On a scale of 1 to 5, how encrypted are you making this?
Can I use command for this goal?
You can use command to assist, but it is going to be mostly engineering.
Okay, let's have left do it.
Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 5.
5.
Ooh, you're swinging for the fences on this.
Yes.
Communications, engineering. All right, so we have control engineering, difficulty 5, and communications engineering assisting, and you can assist is with control command to give the proper command codes.
Okay. Take left is going to spend 3 threat for 2 more dice.
Okay. Oh, I also need my first baddest answer threat, so I'm just gonna get that one right now.
So pull that and add 3 more to it.
So we have 5 players. Okay, yep, that's math. Okay. Left is rolling 4 dice. We have the ship assist and captain's assisting.
Can EPS systems be used as a focus?
No, I'm looking more for subspace communications or comms relays.
Well, guess what he has now because he has an unspent upgrade.
He now knows those subspace communications. Excellent. Kind of spending that backwards, but at least you're spending the upgrades now.
Yes.
Okay, he has a focus.
Someone roll the ship for me. I got myself and left.
Okay.
And the ship.
Legal thing that critical failure.
No, Ross has a ship.
Okay.
One better. And with your powers combined, you manage to hit that diff 5. Left F stands up from the console. Channel secure, sir, or you may call when ready.
Okay. I'm gonna do that now.
As she appears on a really big screen. Yeah. Nea appears on the screen. Yes, Captain.
We are on the way to the Endallan homeworld with one of the commanders in our quarters.
Yes, I seem to have gotten a preliminary report art from that.
Well, they can't. As you can see, they're currently making it hard for this situation to end peacefully.
I agree. What's your opinion on this?
Well, I'll try and keep this diplomacy chain going until it derails and bursts into flames.
Very well. Do you think we can coexist with these people, or should we write them off and not pursue further relations besides setting up a neutral zone?
Neutral zone might be a possibility with how hostile these aliens are, but we need to not lose a number of systems with a neutral zone.
Yeah, and with the proximity to our current border, we might lose some key worlds else if we attempted a neutral zone.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to have those worlds.
Well, see what well, make preliminary contact, see what we can find, and then make a recommendation to me afterwards. I don't want to go into this with half the information, but from what it sounds like this battle involving the Rampart was a test of some sort.
A test with them changing the answer sometimes because from my understanding is they use the powers to cause some of the tactical officers to shoot a different target instead of their intended target.
Even from another starship?
Yes, it happened both on this ship and the Achilles.
And we've you've already dealt with the Cowcat earlier this year. Let's still make the meeting. I want you in orbit no more than in 24 hours. If you do not respond back in 24 hours, as I'm going to initiate a blockade around the Endallan system.
Understood.
I hope it doesn't come to that. Anything else to report?
Nothing else.
Very well. Naya out. And she closes the channel.
Does the doctor want to do surgery?
Interesting enough, the sickbay is very much at capacity. Between in the wounded and walking injured of the Rampart, they were split between in your ship and the Achilles, but neither of you truly had at the medical facilities to deal with this. They were confirmed 47 dead and found at the battle throughout the last couple days. You've added another 20 to that, just dying on the table or before you could triage them. Unfortunately, you get the pleasure of performing surgery on our dear Captain Bradford, who was critically injured during last episode.
Is he Starfleet?
Yes, he's Starfleet. Yep, he's a Starfleet captain. He's assigned to the Silk Road, and also an old friend and, well, finger quotes, friend of Commander Calder.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Don't worry, Yen made sure he will not die.
Yeah, they had to do a quick activation of Raz's just to stabilize him before the end of the scene.
Gotcha.
So let's do... Okay, so to start this off, we are going to do a control medicine in extended task, difficulty 4, magnitude 3. So you have to get at least 3 breakthroughs used to clear this up. Work track of 14 and a resistance of 2. Most of the difficulty is just because of the extent of injuries he took, and part of the resistance is the fact that you kind of had to put him on ice for a little bit just to keep him stabilized while you worked on other more critical cases.
Okay. Well, I want to salvage.
Yep.
And you do have advantage. And I think a additional advantage depending on the tools you use.
What's my advantage from?
Uh,
You're in a sick bay and it is fully stocked. So
Functional?
yeah, it's fully functional on sick bay. And let's get Raz's on there. Who is going to be rolling our dear nurse today?
All right, so I'm going to use activating that technical expertise. So some
Oh yeah, and computers medicine will help on the ship.
let's see. Can I use values for ship? That this is a friend of the captain's.
Yeah, I'll allow that to fire.
Okay.
If
I know
you
that was that might be pulling hard at it, but
that's pulling a little hard, but I'll take it. If you do use a value, you have to give me another threat because the determination dice is spent first, and then you spend. There's like a hierarchy of how you spend dice. And it's least expensive to most expensive.
so are there any benefits of him on a bio bed?
Biobet's just making this possible.
Oh, okay.
So should I hold on to the values friendship for a different one?
You could. It's just that if you want to use that and the threat, you have to give me 2 threat. That's all.
I'll go ahead and do this one.
Okay.
Hey, Bog, check messenger.
Okay. What kind? All right, let's see here.
I'm not wrong.
The use my Starfleet Surgeon's decoration to reduce the difficulty of a single medical task by 1.
That will work. So I'll be starting off at diff 3.
And who's this one? Okay. All right. So here we go.
And now Raz's and this Svalinn is just rolling for momentum. Calder, if you can get the ship. Cameron, could you roll for the nurse?
Sure. What's the nurse's name?
Raz's. Raraz.
Control medicine?
Yep. Hey, you got a lot of headway on this. Generate a 3 momentum and go ahead and roll 7 challenge dice. See how much work.
Hit enter.
Yep. So just
Wait,
put.
Want me to add just 5 dice? Or,
Yeah, just 3 more dice.
that's what it is.
Yeah,
Good.
it's 3.
I do math good.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the resistance was 2, so that is 5 work on the work track.
Doesn't that make it a breakthrough?
That makes it a breakthrough. So, I should have written this out. All right, so initially the major issue you on hand and was trauma to the rib cage and guts. Looks like, and the torso in general looks like he was thrown over a console and pinned against it for quite a bit. So you manage to sort that out and start sealing it up. The next bit is going to be a putting a spine back together and reconnecting those nerves. So I'm spending 2 threat and increasing the difficulty again. So magnitude, the difficulty he was 4, you brought down to 3, completing this task, and now the difficulty is back up to 4. Just because of the delicate nature of dealing with a spinal injury.
Okay, so on values friendship, is that in this room? That in automatic too? So count that.
Oh no, we did not. So that would be another 2 momentum generated.
That I've given dice to roll, so
It wouldn't get you more dice, but it would have gotten you more momentum. Yeah.
Let's see. Right. Technically, still. Spend Brett for gold. How many dice would I have to, or how many threat would I have to get 5th dice?
4th dice ice is 2, 5th dice ice is 3, or you can use momentum for that as well.
Okay, but so it'd be 6 total threat to get all the way to basically the 5 dice. From
Yeah, it's 6. Yeah, it's 6 to go from rolling 2d20 to 5d20.
I have this Starfleet citation for conspicuous gallantry, which says once permission, when the character pays for a momentum spend of any kind by adding threat, may roll 1 point of threat at each of the effect points. Threat is removed.
That is an excellent medal. Okay, so we'll put 6 X threat on the table, and you can roll 6 challenge dice right now. And for every effect you roll, I do not get at that point a threat.
Fingers crossed, everybody. Let's see how this works.
That's 2 threat I don't get. So you can roll up to 5. You roll your 5 dice and only get 4 momentum off that.
Threat.
4 threat.
But you can give us 4 momentum if you want. That's cool.
Nah, but I'm gonna be.
I mean, you said it. It's being recorded. We heard it all. Everybody heard it too. I mean,
Yeah.
Curse you.
We have evidence.
One thing I did just spend 2 threat. This surgery got a little more complicated. So complication range is 19. Which those
I rolled that with a 2.
Nope. I could just hover over and see what you rolled, and the 2 zeros are just underneath that.
Okay, I'm gonna roll those. I've got the gold and the technical expertise to.
All right, and we're looking for 4, 5, 6, and our good nurse, Razes. Rarez. Was I the one who came up with that name, or did someone else come up with that?
You did.
Why do I do this to myself?
Yeah, why do you?
I do indeed.
Cameron, could you roll for the nurse?
Yep. Loading up the sheet now. I accidentally closed it. There we go.
All right, we actually have some float. Yep. So we have 2 float out at the moment. So let's go ahead and roll the 5 challenge dice. Oh, 7. It's 5 plus 2, so 7. 2 more challenge dice. We're just bad at math today. Although that is an amazing roll.
That is an amazing roll.
All right. So we are at Div 2, Mag 1. Was at 11. So 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 work. Minus is 2 for the resistance. That's 7 work. So that brings the work check down to 4. Yeah, so that's what we're looking at now. You do have 2 momentum and floating right now. Would you like to use that for something?
Can I use it to use the resistance?
I could say that, yeah.
Basically, whatever's causing the resistance in the surgery, I've circumvented with that.
Yep. So, you'll have resistance, and it's 1, and on this next roll, or basically just standard resistance.
And let's see. All right, and now we have a control medicine difficulty 2 new tasks left. All right, is there? I'm gonna go and again, technical expertise here. Go and give momentum for a 3 dice. See how we. Oh, I'm rolling without a focus. I got a focus on this, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Been rolling without a focus.
Oh no.
Yeah. That's so this roll right here was without a focus. Like it should have been, because I'm surgery. Trauma surgery.
Yeah, it's a nat. That 2's a nat 1 anyways, and yeah, none of the other dice are below 5, so that's accurate.
Okay, so I need to roll that 1 to my technical expertise.
Yep, have to reroll, but you could. Yep, and then the ship and the nurse.
Ship will is 0.
And Cameron with our nurse.
And the nurse.
There we go. Nurse pulling it out for us.
Like always.
As the nurse prevents you from sewing in a scalpel, because that's the thing that could happen.
Sponges are more likely.
Sponges, yeah. All right, so that is 3 momentum. because we can do math. And yeah, this is a courtesy roll, but go ahead and roll 7 challenge dice.
Bust it up every time we try.
Yep, easily. With that, you finish up the surgery, and he is recovering at the moment. He did have he did have heavy trauma to the pelvis and mid thoracic spinal burst, but you managed to put that back together. I don't know like which vertebrae, but it was like up in his rib cage above of his heart.
He's one step ahead of me on. I was just heading over to make the $1 million man, $6 million man thing, and he's already got the
And with that, you yet again managed to pull at least one more person out from the brink.
But every time he walks or runs now, he's got to have the sound effect.
Alright. You do have 2 float.
You're gonna have to download that and find it, okay?
Yes. You do have 2 float before it vaporizes.
Okay. Do I have any other surgeries that I have to?
I'm not gonna make you roll extended tasks for them, because the idea is you have like 40 injured in your bay right now, but yeah, you do have a couple more surgeries to do this week.
Let's just create the advantage that I assume they were all injured basically the same way.
Yeah, they're all injured in a starship accident. So, abrasions, broken bones, plasma fires, vacuum exposure, that kind of stuff.
I want to create the advantage that I understand my mechanism of injury here going forward and know what to expect, and that should help me reduce complications.
Okay. Kind of want to do this, kind of don't. Let's have some fun. And go ahead and roll me 20 challenge dice.
20?
Yep. Yep. This is just to throw all together, or it's just to throw all together, or you saving all these people's lives and seeing how well you do. And we want yep, and you can spend 1 momentum and to reroll your zeros.
Absolutely.
Yep, we want to go for high numbers.
So 5.
All right. So unfortunately, despite all your efforts, you did have 2 more people that were just too far gone.
That's just unacceptable.
Hey, you took on like almost half the crew of an Excelsior class starship, and you've been mulling through these surgeries throughout the week. So
Marathon surgeries. Haven't slept in 8 hours.
in fact, that's a good point. Yeah.
As a side note, it is amazing some of these doctors, as for marathon surgeries, they do on their feet for 22 hours.
Unfortunately, at this point, after your last surgery, the adrenaline just drops out of your system, and you get woozy, and Raz catches you and goes, "Okay, Doc, I think it's time for you to go to bed."
just vaguely think you're right. And he heads over to an empty bio bed and just claws up on it with a blanket.
Yep, and I spent 2 threat until we reach Endalla. You are just too tired to do any medical task, and if you attempt to do anything complex, you would have a increase of 2 difficulty.
Okay.
You are just you are gonzo for the rest of the week.
Gotcha.
Man, we need an EMH or two.
What'd you
Subtle.
say?
We need some medical holograms.
Yeah, EMH.
Yes.
Subtle hint. Meanwhile,
Do we
Um,
not have an EMH? I just thought we never used it.
no. For some reason, EMH is a talent, which that's another
Ew.
issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange in my opinion. I think it should.
It makes sense up to a certain date.
Yeah, like in my opinion, I think it's a allowed talent. Like it's only a talent if you want him to be anywhere on
that makes
the
sense
ship.
to me.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah,
at least
we
not
could-
count towards a talent cap. But we can talk about that later.
Yeah, we can talk about that later. Meanwhile, Ross is going to talk to our esteemed valiant and guest, Cmdr Shesherie. And I'm assuming Chithrak wants to come to that meeting as well.
I would just say that Chithrak has requested if anyone's going to speak with him, he'd like to be present in case things go south.
Sure, come on along.
All right. You may enter at your leisure. I'm assuming in Chithrak you would have 2 security guards standing outside just in case.
Mm-hmm. And we were able to successfully remodulate the dampeners, right, to their physiology. Weren't we able to do that? Or were we not?
That actually has not been done, but for 2 momentum, and you can say that has happened, and you've
Okay.
successfully pulled that.
2 momentum, and all 4 of us will have one.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it would have been just like a quick check to remodulate that.
And we can probably just use ship sensors to scan the dude. Get the info we need.
You step in. It looks mostly like a Federation standard quarters. The lights are dimmed, and he turned up the humidity by a lot. It is 50% humidity here. It is thick, and sweat droplets start beating up on you as soon as you walk in.
Oh, so it's like Houston.
It's actually more like Seattle. Oh, they keep it at a fairly cool temperature, just high humidity.
Oh, okay. So it's not terrible anymore. Just okay.
Yeah, just so. Oh, okay. They might have lowered the temperature or like 2 or 3 degrees, but you're all wearing long sleeves, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, low temperature, good.
Yep, low temperature, low light, and just really thick humidity. And the Endalla master is staring out the window. Flanking the door is 2 buds that are just standing there, and in the corner or opposite the bed is just a pile of fungal mass. Looks to be about like 500 pounds of just black fungal vines and goop in an amorphous form.
And housekeeping is not going to be happy.
That's your department, sir.
Yep. As soon as you enter in, the Endallan and master turns around. I am almost impressed as that mammalians could build a vessel such as this. We're doing warp 8 if I'm understanding in your conversion rating correctly.
Well, yes, sir, we are. I'm Commander Rost. I'm the second in command of this vessel and the chief engineer. We hadn't got a chance to talk much during our voyage, but I thought I'd come by and introduce myself. See how your stay is going.
My stay is inconsequential.
Is there anything that we can see to your comforts or anything else you require?
More open in computer access, so I might be able to peruse more of your cultural libraries.
Well, now that you mention, I think a cultural exchange is a good idea. I was wondering if we could get to know each other a little better, maybe tour each other's ships, kind of see how the other side works.
I'm afraid that the vessel you have in tow is not in a presentable state, as you would say.
We'll be happy to have our repair crews take a look at it, see if there's anything we can do to get her in better shape.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a presence command and difficulty 2. See if you can. How would you assist him with this? Would you add something?
With my previous interactions with the Endalla, I've been very cordial and have already asked him if he'd like any specific arrangements done, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
okay.
Being diplomatic in the past.
Yep, that works.
It's not gonna be much of it. I'll try.
Oof. Any
Yeah, reroll.
rerolls?
How about determination with other cultures and are interesting and have much to offer?
I would accept that. This is definitely an interesting culture.
Dang.
Wolf. At the Endallan and raises the approximation of an eyebrow. If you wish to study our technology, I would suggest as we wait until more formal diplomatic arrangements can be made for a technological exchange. Snooping about my ship would be foolish of you, and will show foolishness as if I were to allow you to do such things.
Well, I have to admit, I am curious about your technology, but I certainly wouldn't want to do anything without your permission to, anything like that. I think that would be very rude and detrimental to our cultural interchange.
I now stand curious to see if you are cunning enough to attempt to study our technology without me knowing. And now you must be wondering if I am cunning enough to be aware of such activities aboard my ship when I am not upon it.
You do show yourself to be rather talented psionically, very powerful, so I would imagine you probably could, which is why came here to ask your permission. But, if you're not willing to give it, I'm not gonna snoop where I'm not wanted. But I am curious as a telepath myself. You seem to have very different and unusual ability. I was kind of wondering why you choose to use them in this particular way. We could have had a much more peaceful first encounter instead of a firefight.
you do not find the best of people under peaceful circumstances. In order to find the true measure of a person, you must find out if they are cunning, or if they are wise enough to be worthy of interaction.
So you prefer to get to know another species to see how well they do in combat and in adversity against you, how they rise to the challenge.
It is by rising to the challenge that you can truly see the limits of a species.
Oh, you could see that in one aspect, but you don't see the cooperation aspects, the mutual beneficial relationship aspects when you initiate first contact that way.
We have not made first contact acts, as you say, with many other species. How many times have you interfaced with another culture? From what I've seen, there are a variety of different mammals upon this vessel.
Yes, the Federation is made up of hundreds of different cultures and species, and we're also allies and enemies with a number of more.
Fascinating.
Well, I think I've taken up enough for your time. I appreciate you letting me have a chance to talk to you, and if there's anything that you need to make your stay more comfortable, please let me know.
GM, are there any other fungal species in the Federation? That's the right term, right? Is that the right term?
It is not that I'm aware of in canon. But it's a big
possibility.
It's a big universe. I'll be willing to say for our 2 momentum that they're not within the Federation itself, but hey, there's at least one other fungal species on the far side of the Federation.
Okay. I was just thinking they don't seem to respect mammalian life, so I was just curious.
Yeah,
I'll
I can't
leave that up to Ross though, because I'm not gonna butt it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna allow a momentum spend to oh yes, not only do we have a fungal species, but we have
president before.
He was the president before, and we have one on the ship. That's a bit much for her 2 momentum. But yeah, for 2 momentum, you can bring up that we actually have contact with another species of your kind, and we managed to be friends with them, or at least tentative allies. Up to you, Ross.
I've got nothing more for him, so we'll bid our leave.
Very well. And with that, you take your leave. Elle, are you home yet?
I'm not home, but I am available.
Okay. This might involve some rolls, but I can pull your sheet up. As you're traveling along, you're at high warp. You're doing a standard or sensor scans, but there is, as you're doing your routine scans, and there is something funky within the scans. There is some interference that you can't quite shake. It doesn't appear to be interfering with how you see it, but there is interference on the lower band and sensor logs that you can't quite shake.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Yep. As you're doing your routine sensor scans, and there's some interference on some of the lower bands that, while not harmful or obscuring anything, it is annoying. And you're like, this shouldn't be there. I wonder what it is.
All right, so can I focus in on it to try to get a closer look?
Absolutely. That would be a... My mouse is weird. There we go. That would be a reason science... difficulty 4. It's really buried in there, and you're gonna have to isolate it. And the ship's computers or science can help. So, you're gonna have the assistance from the Svalinn. We have 3 momentum on the table if you want extra dice.
So, yeah, definitely take at least 1 extra dice. Sensor operations. Focus. Let me think for a moment. Can I get an assist from somebody?
Sure, you can pull in and someone to assist you.
All right, so if we don't have anyone that activate Peterson.
You can activate a Peterson.
All right, so that way I'm should be rolling 3 dice plus chip plus Peterson. That should do it.
Yep, that should do it. You got 3. If someone could grab the ship and Peterson.
What do you need on the ship?
Computer science. Oof, that's 0 from the ship. And Peterson, yeah, I can grab him real quick. If it'll load. Come on, roll 20. You're letting me down, bro. There we go. Reason science. 1. Sensor operations. Hey, and you got a nat 1, so you gained 1 momentum. You isolated the signal, and you've compared it over or sensor logs over the past couple days. The signal is persistent. It's not changing. It's not moving. So that implies that it is staying with you for some reason. If you like to ask additional questions, and you have your science officer question, and there's always momentum.
Sorry, say that again. I was moving to another part of a kid's screaming.
Oh, fun. You isolated the signal, and you looked over the past couple days. Is the signal frequency and strength has not changed over the past couple days? So either something's chasing you, or it is emitting from your ship or your sensors somehow.
Can I just to dot my I's and cross my T's, run a comparative analysis to make sure that it's not from like our own warp signature? Just to basically eliminate that as an option.
Yeah, I could take that as a science question. You could do that at quickly, and no, it doesn't appear to be coming from your warp signature or the signature of the ship you're towing.
Not likely to be like a cloak shift or anything.
Possible.
Uh,
You would have to do a deeper analysis to rule out a cloak ship.
How about a more subtle approach? How about a create like a very minor tachyon and use those tachyon particles to see if I can't get a little bit more hits on the sensor.
Ooh, that's a great idea. I'm spending an into threat and saying, well, that's a good idea. You would need an authorization and from a command officer to do that.
Yeah, I would be happy to take this to either the XO or the CO. CO is probably more available right now, but it's an engineering issue. Yeah, I should probably take it to the XO first.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll call it the XO.
Russ, during one of your duty shifts, you get a notification that L has found something and needs your authorization to perform a tachyon leak. Or
it's something I would talk to him in person. I wouldn't say it all over the comms. I would, knowing that we have.
I need to meet with you.
Can I meet him somewhere?
Yep. Okay, so L has requested a professional meeting with you.
What can I do for you?
Yeah, so I'll fill him in on what I'm looking at and what the plan is.
All right, I think it's a good idea, Lieutenant. Let's see where it's coming from.
Didn't hear you. One more time.
So that's a good idea, Lieutenant. Let's see where that's coming from.
All right, thank you.
I'm gonna switch this up a little bit. Yeah, it's gonna be sensors. Okay, this is going to be a really weird role. This is somewhat of an unorthodox thing, but this is going to be daring science, and it's difficulty 3, assisted by sensors engineering. As you're trying to find that sweet spot of a tachyon spread that looks convincing and doesn't look like, haha, we're trying to depth charge you.
What difficulty?
Difficulty 3 with sensors brought down to diff 2.
With theory, extra die, theory into practice, diff 1.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so 3 dies with the focus. I'll roll that.
All right. And if Ross, you can get the ship. And you got 3 on the button. So that is 2 momentum generated. You do this as slow, careful tachyon on leak, and you kind of aim it in different directions, and you even work with Maldon to do some course corrections and to try to catch someone in the wake. There is no signs of a cloaked vessel behind you, so either there's no one there or they're just really good at hiding. Advanced and it's cloaking tech, or just a really good pilot.
One moment.
Yep.
So I'm on a much busier buzz now, so I'm going to stay off the speaker, but I'm still here.
Okay. The Tetron scan was inconclusive. You didn't find anything.
Then I would try to come up with other ideas on what it could be, which could lead us into probably scientific method.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do a scientific method.
Can you say again what it is that we're detecting?
There is a low band range interference in the sensors. It's just a weird wobbling of something in the lower band waves, but it is persistent and is unchanging over the past couple days.
And we couldn't find the origin of it?
You have not found the origin yet, I will say.
We were able to exclude an origin, weren't we? Like, it wasn't here, didn't we? Figure it wasn't in our ship, didn't we find that out?
That avenue has not been explored.
Oh, okay. I thought somebody said it wasn't in our warp bubble.
It wasn't coming.
We did.
It wasn't coming from the warp
we
bubble.
Yeah, we did that. It was not.
Because as warp signatures can interfere with if sensor scans and if you're not attuned to them properly. So it's not coming from the warp engines or the warp bubble, and it's not coming from a cloaked vessel, you think.
Not sure. Said it was inconclusive.
Is it coming from our guest quarters?
Yeah, that's fine.
You could check that.
We could do an internal sensor scan on it. Yeah.
I said do that, and if that doesn't come out, do the scientific method.
Yeah, reason science, diff 2, it was assisted by sensor science. So L's gonna be rolling 3 dice, and that's gonna be diff 1 and diff 1. Would you like to purchase?
I believe hearing to practice can bring it down to div 0.
Okay, so this is diff 0. We don't have to roll, or we could roll for momentum.
Roll for momentum. Yeah.
All right. And we have a bunch of float. We have 3 float on the table plus your science question. So you do a thorough, deep sensor scan and of the guest quarters. The signal's still there. You remodulate and go, okay, I'm just gonna go to a random quarter. The signal is still there. You point it out in space. The signal's still there, implying that the issue is not. The issue might be with the sensor array and not not something you're sensing.
Right. So then we need to run a diagnostic on the sensors.
Yep. You do have 3 E-float.
Okay. Well, let's spend 2 to set up an advantage on diagnostic of the sensors.
Okay. And do you have additional questions?
Oh. Have I seen this before?
Yeah, I will take that at for our momentum. You are kind of, it looks kind of familiar, but at the same time, it seems like this is familiar out of context. Like you might have seen something like this before, but never on a sensor scan. So,
Okay.
to run that diagnostic real quick. Control science difficulty 2, assisted by actually diagnostics would be computer science.
It's a computer science. Buy 1 extra step.
With momentum or threat?
Momentum, computer spoke.
Yep.
And yeah, let's go with that.
And you crush it. Oh my goodness. All right,
When
so
you say crush it, how?
you got 6 out of 2. Yeah, you got 2 crits. So we're back up to 9. Sensor diagnostic, it reveals an errant algorithm that was buried deep into the code, and it basically embedded an MP3 file in your sensor array down at that frequency.
So let me go to the science lab and play hypothetical games with the computer.
It was in there open without any cover for multiple days. I mean, you can't have it like that.
Yep. So.
Say that again.
I think Ross just hot-modded mics or something.
Sorry about that.
Yep. And you are not in the game, so I'll just have to drop you a link to this, but you get to the science lab. You do have your 3 float. Would we like to do anything with that before or evaporates? L?
Let's spend 2 of it just on kind of like an alert. Basically, create an alert if anything out of the ordinary changes with the sensors without L's authorization.
Okay, so any more tweaks and changes is you would be made alert to. As you get to the
or anything, if anything that the computer would identify as unusual appears, that it alerts L.
You have to be more specific than that, because there's a lot of unusual things in space. You have to narrow your trigger, or else you're going to be having a computer screaming at you 24/7.
Okay, so the parameters would...
And you cut out. L,
Specifically,
Try again. You were cutting out.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you. But they can't hear us. Hello, hello.
Hello.
All right, you can hear me now?
Yes.
Set the parameters to exclude planets, moons, suns, asteroids, most common anomalies, nebulas, all the common stuff. Right?
I
Specifically exclude that. We're talking about, like possible ships or like possible or like radiation or anything, that sort of stuff.
okay. That will work. As you get to the science lab and you play the MP3 file, I'm gonna play in the game and then I'm gonna drop a link in Discord. As it is.
Can you play it in Discord?
I can't play it in Discord. We don't have the bot for that.
Okay.
But
Just play it loud so you can hear it, maybe.
can everyone hear that?
Yes.
What?
That is the MP3 file that was buried in your sensors.
Who did this?
Elle, I'm assuming at some point you would inform the rest of your crewmates.
Wait, so is it the link that Bog?
No, it's not the link that Bog sent. It is a goofy song. I'm gonna have to mute this tab.
Who did this, and how fast can I put them in prison?
You may take some guesses.
I think.
I don't want
But that's-
guesses. I want evidence.
How did they do it?
Check the access logs from the guest quarters.
You can certainly do that.
The guest should not have access to sensors. If so, we're going to have to disable his entire network.
Okay, so that thing's happened. What would your next step be?
Last person.
And your microphone is fading.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So, Elle would ask the computer, who was the last person to play that file?
I can answer that for one momentum.
Okay.
Computer thinks for a moment. This file has never been previously played.
Did the file get sense?
What was that?
Did the file get in the sensors?
The file does have metadata attached to it. The file was created it's shortly before they were inserted into sensors. But it was said that, at least according to the computer, that this file has never been played before.
Did it get in the sensors though?
You can hazard a guess.
I'll spend the momentum.
At this point, you can rule out a natural phenomenon. This is looking like sabotage. It's coming from the computer's end.
I will take this back to the XO and just ask for a second opinion.
Ross, you are brought into the science lab with Elle, and you are played the audio file.
That sounds like somebody's messing with us. There's no way to tell how this file was copied into the sensor code.
According to the metadata, this file was created shortly before it started showing up in the sensors logs. As for how it got there,
So just now.
Yeah, it was created and then and just dropped into the sensor logs with a simple program to hey, copy yourself in this location this many times.
When was it created?
About 6 days ago.
How long have we had the Endallan on board?
6 days.
Can L isolate what console?
You can isolate what console it came from. Yeah, that's a reason roll. Reason. Science. That is going to be computer systems and also science. All right, so reason science difficulty 2, assisted by computer science. And L, you can assist with computers engineering or reason engineering.
Why would I be assisting?
No, Ross can assist.
Very.
What was that again for the discipline engineering?
Yeah, Ross, you can assist with reason and engineering. Whereas as L is going to be using reason and science.
So 3 dice, computers focus,
Uh,
and the -1 difficulty from theory and practice.
Actually, no, this is like computer file analysis. You've done sensor analysis. This is computer backtracking stuff. So you've not done this as task yet. This adventure.
I did do a task with the computers already.
Oh, so you did. Okay. I need to make these tasks more difficult as you got 3 momentum off that. Funnily enough, the code was not made from a particular console. It was made accessing a Jeffries tube between Dex 4 and Dex 5.
say to Ross, do we have either we have a microplane computer on the ship, or we need to do a diagnostic on that section?
Yeah, I'll go into that Jeffries tube and see what I can see there.
Okay, so you crawl your way into the Jeffries tube, and
Have I been informed of this yet, or no?
Yes.
would you? Yep, you have been informed of this.
There is a level 10 containment field around the ambassador's quarters and the cargo bay.
Okay.
And I want sensor scans on the. I want to match up the locations of every Starfleet personnel with life signs.
Okay. 2 momentum for the force field. If you want to do, so basically you want to do a crew count.
I want to do a crew count, and if anybody's out of place, they're in the brig.
Oh, rude. Reason security, diff 3.
Mm-hmm.
Assisted by sensor security, so diff 2.
Take a threat. Oh, I can reroll one of those. I'm not gonna let that stand, so I'm gonna flip determination.
Or you could just quash it with momentum. You're flushed with it.
Is that still a success though?
With the sensors roll,
with
yes.
The sensor security, yeah. Okay, then I'll quash.
All right. So you generate one and one more or to quash that
Sorry,
complication.
I missed the sensor security roll. I thought I didn't succeed.
Happening both at the same time. Ross is crawling in through the Jeffries tube, and you're at your security console, doing a crew count. You count everyone on the ship, and you find all life signs has been accounted for. Everyone's wearing the badges. Everyone's where they're supposed to be. Nothing weird's going on, except there's a biosignature between decks 4 and 5, and that's just as Ross turns the corner and you see a mycelial mass just plastered against the wall.
So am I able to have them beam to the brig, or no?
Huh? At this point, yes. Although it's not technically a life form, you just see. Oh, this thing's alive. It's alive, I think.
And in a containment field.
It's in the brig in a containment field.
Beam it back into the guest quarter.
If that's what you wish, sir, I'll beam it from the brig to the guest quarters.
Yep. I'm not gonna charge for this as you beam the. Yes, Ross, you're just standing there, going, okay. As you turn the corner and you're just face to face with this mushroom mass, as that is just as plastered into this Jeffries tube, and its tendrils have seeped into a computer console and is pulling panels out.
Well, it's actually moving.
It wasn't moving much. I mean, it was kind of pulsating a little, but that's kind of what these masses do.
And then it just beams away.
You're reminding me of an episode of Enterprise when they basically this mass just it's all half the crew.
Yep. That was part of the inspiration of it.
I'm the commander. Commander Ross, I have returned the entity to the guest quarters after the captain's orders. I suggest we check the computer core for any other altercation, and I will restrict all access
all right.
from any personnel without proper clearance.
Couple things are going on Ross. As soon as the mass beams away, the panels and stuff it was holding up falls, and electrical components and EPS as conduit it falls away, it unplugs, and you're looking at, oh great, I'm gonna have to fix this, aren't I? As the stuff that was holding it up is beamed away, and it looks like this thing was prying apart the data lines and was just physically jacking itself into the data lines.
So he was checking out our ship.
Yep. And and now you have a control engineering and difficulty 3 a task to repair that.
Oh man, the captain's not here. I wanted to ask. Oh, shit. Commander Ross, permission to return the favor?
I'm checking out his ship.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we need to run that by the captain, but he just stepped away, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll take that up with him in just a second.
We should definitely study.
You're breaking up again, and the microphone might not be picking up your voice.
We should definitely study this mass more.
The mass is him.
Yep, them.
Them.
Can I use the engineering department advantage to reduce the difficulty?
Yeah, as you call your guys in and say, okay, so computer core has been compromised, and it's between decks 4 and 5. What's really impressive is that the diplomatic quarters are on deck 2, so this mass has traveled through 2.5 decks to get into where it is.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a sweep of the whole Jeffries tube system.
Yeah, impressive word you could say.
Okay. We got momentum? Yeah. I'm gonna use a point of momentum as well.
Okay. And you gain it back. For 2 momentum, you can, and also sweep the rest of the ship.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yep, as you manage to repair that little breach there, and you have engineering crews combing the entire ship, checking all the Jeffries tubes visually, and within 6 hours, as your crews finally come back and give you the all clear. No unusual sightings. No unusual sightings and no extra damage.
Hell, can we program our sensors to see if we can pick up this kind of thing from happening again? Can you hear me, El? Yes.
Yep.
I was asking if you could program the
Say it
sensors to. Can you program the sensors to pick up on this kind of thing from happening again?
Yeah, we can definitely set that up.
I have a feeling he won't stop.
Of course not. That would be foolish of him to stop. Control science difficulty E3, assisted by sensor science, brought down because of advanced sensors, brought down to 1 because of testing a theory.
Can I assist?
You mean theory and practice?
Yeah, testing theory and practice, all those fire. And you can assist this as well with control engineering. Would you like to purchase additional die cell or just roll with your 3?
3.
That is 5.
GM, can we modify the internals of the thingies, the Jeffrey's tubes?
Meaning,
Can we pump that light all the way up?
that's certainly a possibility.
Because it apparently doesn't like that.
Make it uncomfortable for them.
Yep. Okay, so with this roll, you managed to set up a sensor scan specifically for mycelial masses that are less than a life form, if they're detected anywhere outside of these set parameters. And for 2 momentum, you can set the advantage of pumping the Jeffrey's tubes full of light. You might want sunglasses when you go in there, but
can we
it'll
do
be
that to like the surrounding area as well and give the people sunglasses?
give
Like,
people
around his
sunglasses.
quarters?
Yep.
And how could we isolate? Because the only other way I could think for them to get out of there would be the environmental system. Could we isolate those somehow?
The force
Isolate
fields.
their quarters?
The force fields have already isolated, and if you do under level 10, and it would be under or isolated.
I did the max. I don't know what the max.
Yeah, 10 is just about the max.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, at this point they are within. Yeah, they are within their own environmental system, not tied to the rest of the ship. Which I'm spending threat, and something fun's going to happen, and at a later date. So after finding this, you spend the better part of 2 days scrubbing the ship down and setting up defenses and countermeasures to prevent this from happening again. Would you like to speak to the Endalla in person? Speak to Shesherie.
Is the captain back?
Which moment?
You have 4 momentum.
Well, I guess, yeah, I'll go in his absence. I'll go in there and talk to him about this.
Very well. You enter. What was that, L? L? Okay. With that, Ross enters. There's the Endallan's quarters. The humidity has dropped a little bit, and the Endallan is Shesherie is kind of wilting a little bit.
Commander Shesherie, are you all right? You don't look well.
It appears that the environmental controls have been removed from my specifications. Yeah,
we were having some problems with our computer system. It seems like a large fungal mass was found in one of our access tubes and was accessing the computer system and damaged some systems. It may have affected the environmental controls as well. Would you know anything about that?
Give me a presence command difficulty 3.
Can I assist with present security?
As you just stand there looking threatening.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm just mad.
I'll burn a point of momentum on that too.
All right.
He'll look behind us and see the just bright as hell light coming out of the door.
Blinded by the light.
Exactly. Oh dear. Okay, I'm not gonna roll anymore. Sorry.
Oof.
I'm a roll unless it regards shooting something.
I can't think of anything particular at this point, so I'm just gonna take 2 threat. But in general, you do manage to get through to them, and they give a smile and go, "Oh, that was a fairly menial prank that I pulled. I'm surprised it took you so long to find the discrepancies in your sensor logs."
Well, we didn't expect the guest to take advantage of us like that. You're a guest aboard this ship, and improper access to unauthorized systems is not appreciated or won't be tolerated. So I'm going to ask you to stop doing that immediately.
But how else am I supposed to how else am I supposed to find out more about your species? I've learned so,
Ask.
but I've learned about your response time and how you respond to threats, and more about your computer systems. There is much learning need to be done here. Besides, this was a harmless prank. Just to see how foolish I can make you. Is Shathrok's teeth grinding at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Commander, you're a guest on my ship, and I'm going to treat you like a guest, but any further interference with this ship's operations and you will be transferred from guest to prisoner. Do you understand me?
All I am understanding is that I'll have to be more cunning.
I wouldn't advise it.
Would L be there for conversation?
You're welcome to join us.
You're welcome to join them. You are in this conversation.
Or not.
I still didn't hear an answer. Would L be there
Yes.
for that conversation?
Yes.
All right. L will look to the XO and say, I can't be quite so nice when someone's messing with my sensors. You know, you let them off that easy, they're just going to try again.
Oh, I wouldn't try with the sensors next time. I would do something else. To attack the same system again wouldn't be cunning. That would be foolish.
So you just admitted that you are going to attempt to cause more, another attack on our system. I believe that constitutes as a threat, and therefore, XO, is my recommendation that he be charged and placed under arrest for making said threat.
His name is Shesherie.
Their name, Shesherie. Yes.
Shesherie, sorry. Commander Shesherie, since you want to learn so much more about our people, I have a couple of questions about yours. We've discussed this previously in our previous meeting. Your species seems to consider surprise and not knowing something of great interest. Is that true? You want to know how we react to things, and if we don't react in the way you expect, that impresses you. Is that correct?
Ooh. They're gonna make a roll really quick.
Do I need to pose this, or what is this?
You can oppose those with insight security or insight command.
Okay, I will choose security.
Where did my sheet go?
I'll add on to that onto the end of that a little bit. And if we surprise you, you are considered foolish. Is that correct? Add that bit on the.
Yeah, this is gonna be a roll.
Okay.
Uh,
Somebody assist me.
Rost,
Or
if
can I assist somebody else?
Rost, if you want, you can and assist on this, or you can. So I'm going to be using Presence Command, and I do have a focus. I'm going to spend 3 threat to activate the determination, and if you cannot hold, I will take. And then 2 more are for a third dice.
So,
We
who is
should-
who is the roll against?
Cmdr Shesherie and is rolling Presence Command, and you guys are rolling Insight Command to see if you can catch a tell.
Insight command.
Do you want to take lead, or do you want me to, Rost? If I do, I'm gonna trigger one of my values. 'Cause I really wanna. I have an idea of a line of reasoning here.
Okay, go ahead and run with it.
Okay. I'm gonna use my value: never compromise, never surrender. I'm proving my position.
How many dice are you rolling?
I burned 1 determination on the value. If you can't hold, I will take, and I have 1 more dice. Nice,
I
actually.
meant
So
Ash. How many?
I'm
dice?
not sure yet. I'm gonna see if he holds at that value.
Okay.
Never compromise, never surrender, or a responsibility to the truth.
I'll take responsibility to the truth.
Okay. And then I'm gonna take 1 threat for a dice and 4th with 2 momentum. I'm gonna pop my Starcross.
And what is your?
So let's see if I have a focus. People reading.
I mean, this is a stretch of a person, but yes.
He's a person. He's sentient. He's
There.
not a good person, but
Yeah, there. They don't assume to the gender binary for
sorry.
reasons the doctor hasn't found out yet.
Fair enough. Well, mushrooms.
Yeah, mushroom.
Fair enough. My bad.
Okay, so you got 1 dice, nice from
Threat.
determination, and then 1 dice as a threat, so that's 2 threat, and
Yep.
then you're gonna get a 4th dice for 3
3 momentum.
momentum.
Yep.
Okay, I want to make sure that math is right.
Hold on, I was having trouble with my voice. I'm home now, just trying to get the computer to work.
Okay.
Real quick, so if Ash uses up all 5 dice, I'm willing to burn a medal to help him out.
Are you
Oh,
assisting with this roll?
Yeah, well, I was doing an insight, right?
Yeah. You guys are doing an insight. I'll allow 1 person to assist on this, though.
Say that again?
Only 1 person can assist.
Okay, did the XL already assist?
Not yet.
Okay,
What-
I would like to assist, even though my insight command is probably not the greatest, but I think that the metal use on this would be very effective.
What can they assist with rolling, GM? Because if his isn't the best, but he has a useful metal, I haven't planned.
What metal is this?
Star Cross.
Cameron, Ashton's already using Starcross.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm using on my roll. Yeah.
and yeah, wouldn't allow that to transfer over if you're assisting someone.
Sorry,
So
voice difficulty, so I didn't know that he was using it.
It's probably best for Ross to assist on this. Then he probably has the next best role for insight, command, or security.
Yeah.
Do you have a focus, Ross?
not for this.
And he can assist with security. Is that right, GM? Command or security?
Command or security.
In that case, can I swap what I spent? That I'd just like to give you an additional threat, and say I use that momentum for collaboration, so he gets a 5 in security and my focus people reading to assist.
I'll accept that. Yep. All right. So Ross, you for this role, you have a 5 in security and a focus. So just click engineering and focus yes, and we'll ad-lib that.
I'm procking collaboration.
If your guys are doing all this, I'm gonna spend 3 dice and get 1 more dice.
You don't worry.
Yep, you may roll.
On my reroll 1-0.
Okay.
That's 8. Oh wait, I should check for Darkross. That's 9. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Sorry.
Well, that's a short sight on my part.
I can math. I swear, it's 9.
Including your determination.
Yeah.
9 including determination. I have 5, so you generate 4 momentum. As you easily see, through this person's there's a twitch of approximate facial muscle as you talk about knowing things, and if you talk about the idea of knowing things and presenting other people to be foolish. And you get the impression that they felt like they revealed too many of their cards.
Okay. Does he agree with that statement though? Like, what does he respond to that question, that statement?
He agrees with your statement.
Okay.
And he is both impressed that you figured that out, impressed of the, ooh,
and
you are cunning.
Of how much information he gave.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you are cunning, and because you figured that, oh, wait, if they're cunning, that means I'm foolish for giving them as much information as I did.
Mm-hmm. And, Commander, this might be a question out of the blue. Well, not really. Your hostility, well, no, that's not direct hostility. The interference your species has shown to the Federation how do I want to phrase this? Hold on. I'm trying to phrase these diplomatically.
Okay, go ahead and talk it out, and then once you get your final answer, let me know.
Thank you.
Okay, camera's off at the moment.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready if you're good. I didn't know if you're stepping away.
Nope, go ahead. I was just saying that I'm not going to take what you said as canon at the moment. So now we're good.
I'm going to keep what I said previously. The interference your species has shown towards the Federation at this point is to learn more about us. Is that correct? And how we operate and how we do things. In your own way.
Are there
poking at us and see how we respond? Is that correct?
I mean, poking things and seeing how they respond is the basis of own knowledge. It's you take what you have and then you apply different conditions to it, and you record the results and compare them.
I see. And have you ever encountered a situation where a species acted nowhere what you expected?
As of yet, no.
And your species would, how do you believe your race would react to that?
If a race were to truly show cunning, we would be amicable to learning from each other.
I have
this kind of idea.
every species that I have ever run across in this galaxy, which, if I may say so, have been a lot of different species, all have a different view on cunning and intellect. Yours
okay.
also seems to waver depending on the subject.
Can
what
I talk to
form
the
of-
XO in the hallway?
Tritrox in the middle of a conversation.
I mean, you guys can step out if while I'm talking if you like, though.
Yeah, you two can sidebar, or just after this.
What form of cunning do you respect the most? Because there are many. Or do you expect all of them?
A
It's such a broad statement with no actual meaning unless you elaborate.
I suppose that is a limitation of your language.
Yes, I suppose it is.
Any form of cunning that shows a superiority of thought and tactics that will display foolishness is upon the recipient.
Is there a line there? Is there a point where it becomes not cunning, it becomes an affront to your species? How does one draw that line?
They look
I know
at you.
we have laws and regulations on that. Do you?
They look at you confused and like, why would you have such a... Huh?
So they have no regulations on that.
Wait till you get to the planet, which we should be doing in 10 minutes.
And how far out are we from their planet?
You're
in,
still...
like time?
You're probably like 2 or 3 days out. And we're gonna time jump to get there, because I wanted us to get to the surface.
Uh,
The sidebar?
I think that's it for me. I'm just gonna...
Is that 2 days at warp 8?
2 days present speed. You could increase that.
Let's get there faster.
Okay.
I have
Meanwhile...
nothing else. I'll thank him for the...
Okay.
Excellent.
Meanwhile, cutting back 5 minutes, Elle and Ross has to have a sidebar in the hallway.
Alright. Tell him, well, he values cunning. How about we show him a little scientific cunning experiment here? We cut comms dampen the room, let them know, okay, let's see how you react to, or how your crew reacts to us using our computers on your ship, and but create the environment where he can't do anything about it. All right, because the comms are dampened, so he can't communicate with his ship, and see how his ship responds, and just say, "Hey, don't do it to us. We won't do it to you."
I don't think he'll respect that. He'll expect us to do that anyway. Yeah, that's what they do.
But the cunning part is there's nothing he can do about it.
I think we should go ahead and cut his communications and check the ship anyway. We'll have to talk to the captain about that since he said no originally.
Yes, let's not act like petty children.
Yep. At this point, you guys can have a staff meeting.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, you're brought together in light of this recent tomfoolery.
I'll catch the captain up on everything that's happened here, and essentially these people respect cunning and strength and aggressiveness, and I think that reserve and treating them politely is showing that they're weak. We need to figure out how they do what they do to the Rampart. Otherwise, it could happen again. If there's something aboard their ship that's aiding them in that, we should, we have an obligation to find out and deal with it.
I agree with Commander Captain. I also,
yeah, let's do it because they're acting like assholes.
with my conversation with Commander Shesherie, they don't appear to have any limits to what they consider cunning. There is no point where cunning becomes dangerous, or any action you do to show cunning, it does not matter how severe or what the consequences are. If they show cunning, they will respect it.
Right.
I agree with the commander. Our treating him as a guest and, allowing him all of these privileges is showing him incorrectly that we are foolish. I believe I have a way to remedy this. I'm going to look over to Dr. Bog. Dr. Bog, with your knowledge of this species, would they be affected by a stasis pod?
I mean, could they go into stasis?
Yes. Would we be able to put this entity
harm
in
them?
stasis until we arrive in their space?
Possibly not harm them. I have gathered enough information at this point to be able to make that assessment.
Yeah, you would have to do some modifications on the stasis pod, but yeah, you could do that.
I think they could certainly be placed in stasis with little risk.
Make sure that they're not psionically active either.
Captain, I suggest we place Commander Shesherie and all of his buds in stasis until we arrive, without warning, until we arrive to their home system. I believe this will show him that we're not willing to sit by and allow him. We're not willing to sit by and be foolish and allow him to mess with our equipment while we do the same to his. Them, sorry.
Well, Captain, what's your orders?
And they're not expecting, which is a bonus for us. He expects us to let him remain in his room until we arrive. Or put him in the brig.
Them.
Sorry.
What I think is in your judgment.
Put him in the pod. In that case, I'll need Bog to modify the pod, and I suggest we beam him directly inside.
Them.
Ow. Sorry, I got started calling them.
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
and now it's hard for me to change it.
Yeah, I'll just gently remind you.
Thank you.
The universal translator is very specifically choosing a non-gender terms.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
My guess is they.
I mean, no offense. I'm working on it. Yeah. I'm working on it. I mean,
No,
offense.
no. You're just being foolish. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm being foolish.
What was it again, Calder?
My guess for them is we reproduce asexually. So there is no male or female. He or she.
It's kind of hard for Doc to tell because this is only one organism that they've found, but yeah, you're not sure how they reproduce yet, or if they have any dimorphism.
I mean, in my studies, I ought to able to figure out if it has boy or girl bits.
Huh?
Kind of bits.
Through your studies, East, they do have sporing gamete makers that are surprisingly in their wrist, mostly.
Okay, so that could lead me to understand that there may not be male and female in the species.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
All the gametes are homogeneous, so they're all the same type and size, but you can't tell. You can't tell in particular if they're male gametes or female gametes, because that's more of a comparative thing. They don't seem to be motile. It just looks like every once in a while they just spray the spores where they land, and then the spores are combined together to make a new baby Endalla.
Gotcha. And just from my understanding, wouldn't the universal translator, after analyzing their language, make corrections for any of us that made the mistake of calling him, she? Wouldn't it automatically correct that?
Yeah. It would have caught that as to not be offensive.
Okay.
It'd be like, okay, the universal translator knows you're referring to this individual. They prefer they, them pronouns, yada yada. You can't tell from the spores that it is not a complete. It's not a complete genotype, so it's not like one spore by itself can and become a full organism. There's definitely parts missing, but you can't tell how many parts it is or what percentage of it is.
So they do get it on.
Yeah, there is some sort of sexual reproduction, but you are unsure if it's. All right, Captain, what's your plan?
I think I was given permission to stick them in cryo. Stick them in cryo. Or stasis. I don't know if we use actual cryo.
Yeah, it's a stasis field. All right, how will you get them into the stasis field?
I think there had to be some modifications, and once those are done, I will go to their quarters, ask them to follow me. In light of recent events, we have new accommodations for them.
Quarters.
Oh, I think it's a bad idea. I think you should beam them straight there. Otherwise, there's going to be a fight with all sorts of psionic.
I'm just going to beam them straight there as soon as I say that.
I wouldn't even tell them.
Well, I want to show them how foolish she is. But if you don't want me to tell them, I'll just beam them.
Place them in the stasis field.
Okay. With the suggestion from the commander, they'll just be beamed.
They'll just be beamed. Okay. Dr. Bog, you have to
including the spuds, I think.
Yeah, basically.
Buds, they're called.
Yeah, basically the entire biomass in there, which is all their buds.
Mm-hmm. And the ones in the cargo bay too.
Yes, there are a couple in the cargo bay. Good catch. It's gonna be a bit different because of the weird aired biology. But computers. Yeah, it's gonna be really weird. Let's get weird with this. Control medicine difficulty 4. That was also supposed to be complication 3. Due to the weirdness of the biology. And then structure medicine for the stasis pod, because I kind of figured the stasis pod would be integrated into the ship's sister.
This is something I'm doing?
Yep, you're modifying a stasis pod to accept their biology.
Okay, so biology, xenobiology should be my focus.
Yep.
Good there. Difficulty. Wow. Here I just popped off in the meeting how it would be easy.
Do you have that thing that negates difficulty increase for unfamiliar biology?
That's it. Yep. I forgot to account for that, so that brings it down to diff 3 and comp 2. There's still some complication just because of the nature of putting someone on stasis.
All right, so I'm gonna use. I use quick study to set it. When attempting a task that will involve an unfamiliar procedure, just treat an unfamiliar species for anything stemming from unfamiliar.
Yep. So, diff 2.
Oh, I'm not done yet.
Hit me.
Let's see what else we can come up with here. Get this down to a 0. Don't think I can. Let's see here. Is that already? That's gonna. Okay, so we'll use. Is my assumption that I can use technical expertise? Am I using? I guess it's only with the ship's computers or sensors. Would I be using that?
I'll allow it in this case because the computers and sensors are kind of integrated into this.
Okay. All right, and let's go get a threat for old medicine. Assuming I just want to make this happen, so wouldn't give you 2 venom to get a. I think I'm gonna risk re-rolling that. Got the difficulty covered there. Couple of venom, so.
Yep, you got the difficulty covered. You generate 2 momentum, and the stasis pod is ready.
Check messages.
Are you talking to me, Al?
Author.
Oh.
Okay.
L's going to wait till after till you're beaming them in before they're fully in stasis, and then on Shesherie's pod, place a small toy tarantula and attach it to the external part of the pod, right in front of they space. And the reasons is part joke, part torture, part cunning, and part who got the last laugh.
I'll accept that for 2 momentum to set that prank up.
That's actually going to cost more momentum to do that?
Yeah, it's an advantage.
Alright.
And now to transport this person. Control engineering. It's gonna be difficulty 4 because you're going from not a pad to not a pad, site to site. But the sensors will help. And sensors, engineering, and also comp 2 because you're trying to beam from multiple locations at once.
Isn't that what the difficulty's for?
No, increased difficulty is just because there's not a pad on either end of the transport. Complication is because you're pulling from multiple locations and trying to do that at once.
Yeah, we don't want to beam.
Yeah, you don't want to beam.
We don't want to separate them like that. Cause
yeah, you don't want to beam half of
them.
Yeah, you don't want to beam
But
half
they
a person into stasis. That might end ugly.
Yeah.
How many of them are there?
There.
7.
There's like 3 or 4 are in the. There's like 5 buds plus they have like a resting mass, and it's altogether or tonnage. You're looking at over 1,000 kilograms of biomass that you're shoving into stasis.
Biggin.
Yeah.
But how many individuals?
Depends on your definition of individuals. There is one Endallan and master that you found, and at least 5 buds.
And I think we learned the buds were an extension of the Endallan, not different.
Yep. All right.
The Endalla.
Rust, we have a transport.
Okay, so difficulty 4. I'll use a point of momentum, and can I get left to do an assist as well?
Yep. Oh, and that's actually diff 3.
Div 3. Okay.
Yep, because you are using sensors. And left can assist. And left has been activated. Yes. Ruh-roh.
Let's see here. Yeah. Hang on here.
You want me to grab the ship? You want somebody else grab the ship?
I'll get the ship.
Trathok, you can get at left.
Can I use my Legion of Honor medal to ignore that complication?
You may.
I'll get the ship when my computer wants to work.
I'm working on getting left sheet.
Yeah, it wasn't working for me.
Roll20's been really bad lately.
It's not opening for me.
Close it and open it back up. That usually
I
works.
did.
Oh.
3 times now. Still not loading.
All right, and who has the ship roll?
Oh, there we go. Sensors engineering.
Yep.
Town, Kentucky, Caneyville, Kentucky.
Oh,
Got a tomato town.
Oofed. All right, and with that, there was a little bit of trouble trying to time the transport to be synchronous, and you managed to sync that add up so all the buds in different location and beam up at the same time, and they all materialize at the same time. And this Endallan in biomass is set frozen in the stasis field and shoved into basically a large shipping container. This thing is almost a cubic meter of just mushroom stuff. And then right on top of the face, L places a little tarantula on top of it.
Are people still conscious when they're in stasis? Like, could he like see us or hear us if we walk by, or is he just out?
Nope.
Are they just out?
They're frozen. Basically, any time passing for them is 0.
Okay, cool. I recommend to the captain when they reawaken them.
Well, it takes a moment to get them into stasis once you beam them in. It's not instant.
Right. Still don't think that.
don't give them ideas.
You beam them straight into you stasis and activate it within synchronous, so they are safely tucked away.
I'll suggest to the captain when they reawaken them to just make sure they know they were foolish for abusing our hospitality.
Captain requests permission to lead a science, engineering, and security team to the other ship.
Granted.
Please get a look at those weapons for me. Those were great.
Well, why don't you come along and check it out? we're gonna have to split this up and see what's what.
Elle will be the first one to the transport room for this.
All right.
Yeah, I think our primary objective should be to see what's, if there's any psionically special about this ship, and then we'll check out weapons and other engineering type stuff.
Do we just want to make this an extended task, maybe?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Was not planning on this, but hey, how often do planes survive and have contact with the enemy?
Never.
Exactly.
Should we each lead in like one portion of the extended task?
Yeah. Basically, yeah. I'll set this up and explain it. No, phone. I wasn't talking to you. So we're looking at 3 different departments. So we're looking at weapons, psionics, and structure.
Science?
Yeah, science, security, and engineering.
Yeah, you
Okay.
said psionics.
Yeah, I'm kind of get a feel for what specifically you guys are looking for.
Yeah, I want to figure out if there's something aboard this ship that helped them make the rampage look like, something that wasn't. And
You know, if you go into any computer and you like go into like the settings and you get the system report on everything on the computer, that's what Al's gonna do.
Yep. Well, we'll set this up and explain it. And we actually have an interval on this.
I'll type it out in Discord.
Okay. So, what we're going to do is a reason plus department. It's gonna be start off with the difficulty 4, and the difficulty is gonna go down as you find one system that leads into another system, and makes it easier to find that out. Magnitude 3 for each department you're looking into. Work track 20. That doesn't mean anything. That just means you have a lot of time. I'm able to basically tear the ship apart to get into it. You do have 8 intervals. Each time you roll is going to be 2 intervals. But you can spend a momentum to cut that time in half. At the end of the intervals, you are going to arrive at the Endallan system.
I have a question, but it might modify the difficulty. When we were interacting with them, they seemed to imply that, can we make it so if we succeed at this, there is no evidence that we tore it apart and looked at it, like we just put it back together? Because I feel like
that'll put resistance at 4, pretty much.
What do you guys think?
So, you would have 4 resistance on your work track, and to try to get that done as you're trying to carefully take things apart and carefully put it back together in the same
I don't
manner.
think we should care about that. They're going to expect us to take every advantage we can, so they expect us to do this.
Yeah, but they wouldn't expect us to
Actually,
put it all back together and make it look like we didn't. And they respect them not expecting.
I
That
think we
makes
should
sense.
just leave them the trail. Let's leave them the trail.
Okay.
Like intentionally, so they know that we did it.
They'll assume we did anyway.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Is the doctor going to be involved in this?
You could be. Yeah, that would just be basically 1 extra magnitude you have to hit as you're doing your own scan.
Yeah, that alright. I can get in there and bring down the difficulty.
Yeah, all
right.
hands. Anybody who can make this work.
All right, so Ross, so you beam over, or to the ship. I don't have a map for this because I didn't expect this to happen. I am foolish. You've shown me guys to be foolish today. But the interior of the ship is very, very dark and very, very humid, or at least the places that still hold atmosphere. The ship has been and shot to all hell, and there are some exposed. There are some bits exposed to space. So that is also contributing to some of the difficulty. But the ceiling is about 6 inches lower than what you're used to.
Okay, I'll start examining the engineering compartments.
Okay.
Checking out their drive, shields, all that kind of stuff.
And you know what? This has been too quiet all episode.
I just posted into Discord what L's going to get going after.
Yep.
That's a lot.
We'll get to that in a bit. So, Ross, do you have a reason engineering difficulty 4 task? How do you want to do this?
Can I use a focus in starship power or propulsion systems and matter antimatter reactors?
Yep, that will work.
Okay.
Would you like to purchase additional dice?
Yeah, I'll purchase one more.
With threat or momentum?
I'll use one momentum. We're still at difficulty 4 though?
Yep.
Huh. And to get another dice, I'd have to have, what, 2 more momentum or 3 more? To get another dice, I'd have to have how many more momentum? Is it 2 more to get the next one, or 3 more?
How many
Hello?
are you at now?
I just bought one more for 3 dice.
The next one will be 2 more. You didn't use determination. Two or 3, I'm not sure.
Okay. Can I use determination to buy another one?
Sorry about that. I have mic troubles.
Okay. I was wondering why it was kind of quiet.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. It'll be a 2 to get the 4th dice. You can split the difference. So 1 momentum, 1 threat, and you can get a 4th dice.
I'll take that.
Okay. Okay, that is 3 on a difficulty 4. Do you have a reroll?
Can I use bold engineering?
Yes, you did spend and a threat. You can use bold engineering. You need to reroll 1. Ruh-roh. Yeah, unfortunately, the ship is just really more torn up than you thought, and I'm just gonna take that as threat, but you do lose 2 intervals. I was just trying to get to this stage. All right, that was attempt 1. Who's next? Or do you want to try again?
I'll let somebody else go next.
All right. Batter up.
I'll go.
All right. That'd be reason science. We're still at difficulty 4.
Right. Alright, so L wants to work quick, but he wants to get everything. So he is going to also brought Patterson over.
Okay.
So I can get an assist from him. And so let's see. We're L's working on their computer core. So would that be consider well, computer's focus, but would computer expertise apply?
Yeah, I'll allow computer expertise. Yes, Fire,
Okay.
since you are basically pulling their entire computer core.
All right. And then so let me start with determination under science. That's my specialty.
Okay.
And then we're going to do Star-Crossed, Starfleet Exploration Division Declaration, and my Cochrane Medal of Excellence. Just literally pull out everything. So,
Okay. So let's type this all into roll 20. We have determination +2, and then we have Star-Cross.
I'll get the medals. I'll plug that in for you.
Yeah. Just the names, aims, and just the names. That's all I need.
Damn, I had already like put the whole copy in there. Okay. Yes, sir. Working. Sorry.
Yeah, just the name so we can and sort out how this math is going.
Yeah, it just takes a moment to do the copy paste.
Okay, so we have +2 from determination. Star-Cross is doubling focus range. Exploration division decreases diff. So that's diff 3. E now. And a double focus range. And then Cochrane Medal. Remind me what that does. That's real quick.
Of determination.
2 uses of determination. Okay.
So we're going to, the first one will be automatic 1, and then I'm going to hold the second option till after the roll.
Okay, sounds good. And you get.
And then we did computer expertise, which double check.
Computer expertise gives you a reroll.
Gives me a reroll anyways, so yeah.
Okay. Anything else on the table?
Would testing the theory into practice just for the simple fact that we already did do work on computers already?
You did work on your computers, not on Endallan and computer.
Okay.
I'm splitting hairs here. I will allow the extra dice to come into play though.
Okay. So then I am going to give you threat like all hell to get so 5 threat to get the last 2 dice.
Actually, it's only 3 threat because you already have one. You've already rolled 1 dice. Testing testing theory gives you the 4th dice, so only 3. Yep. So
Nice.
3 threats to get the last one.
All right, and then what is actually the roll? Reason and department.
Reason science, and you're shooting for a diff 3.
Then someone get Patterson.
Sure thought. Can you get Patterson?
Yeah, I'm working on getting the sheet open.
Thank you.
Science.
It's not
Reason
coming up for me
science.
either.
I just got it. Nice.
So I count 7 successes. The middle
5,
one
6,
is
7.
the third one is it should be a 2.
So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on a diff 3. So that's 6 momentum generated. Go ahead and roll your 7 challenge dice, and we have a resistance of 3.
All right.
Would you like to spend a momentum to reroll that?
Actually, before I start spending momentum on it, because I didn't use the reroll on the
The other,
main roll.
the other determination.
Yeah.
Would you like to tap that and make it a second determination, a second crit hit, or
would I get more challenge dice?
you would not get more challenge dice, but you get 2 more momentum.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right.
Alright, so then spend the momentum for the reroll.
Yep.
And then how much momentum do I have?
7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Let's go ahead and spend 3 momentum for to spend 2 on 2 piercings.
2 momentum for 2 piercings. That puts 6 work on the table.
Well, that's -4 resistance.
Yep. So that is 6 work on the table. That is a breakthrough.
All right, and let's go ahead and spend 4 momentum for to create a second breakthrough.
That's not how it works.
Not how it works. Okay.
Yep. It's 5 or more, or it's not every 5.
All right. Is there any way to get a second breakthrough?
Very specific talents. Yeah, there's the Miracle Worker air talent that allows you to spend 2 momentum to get a second breakthrough on extended task.
Can I break 3 momentum?
Nope, not at this point. But you do get the computer core out, and you do get a bunch of information about them. They don't have much of a cultural database, but you do get an idea of how their computers work, their primary area systems, key frequencies, the environment, Antal controls, as you're familiar with. Surprisingly enough, a lot of the primary subroutines have been erased. They've been in fully sabotaged as a anti-boarding prevention and measure. seemingly once they surrendered, or they started flipping switches and blowing out sub relays. So you did get a lot, but you didn't get key things like weapons and shields.
Right now they don't have shields.
Sounds like I'm up for that.
And as far as medical goes, there's like a little information on Endallan physiology. There is like a paragraph of how to care for your Yalto.
Feed them, water them every day.
Yep. And if one get sick, hey, you have a free snack. That's the healthcare of the Yalto.
Sounds like the military. They're
How to serve humans. Anyways, who's up next? Shathrak?
Sure.
All right, so we have a. All right, and we have 6 work. So let me do my math. Here we have a reason and plus department. We have
one off of their difficulty.
yep. Mag and 3 because we're doing this 4 times. We have diff of 2 because it wasn't that difficult, and then we have a work track of 14. Resist 3. Would you like to spend a momentum L to get this done and in 1 interval instead of 2?
Yes.
That is a thing. So we have 5 intervals.
Okay. Focus in shipboard tactical systems because I'm going for weapons, shields, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay, take 1 threat and 2 momentum.
1 threat, 2 momentum. Would you like assistance from NPC?
Sure. Check out the list.
Zogar are knows tactical systems.
Okay, sure.
All right. L, can you pull up the Zogar sheet?
Yes.
All right. You may fire when ready.
I'll reroll that comp.
Nice. And waiting for Zogar. What, his reasons? Okay, I guess his reason 7. I forgot I did that.
Apparently. Gorn, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know why it works, it just does.
But you get 1 momentum off that, and roll your 7 challenge dice.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Something about this.
It was an assist, I don't think we can.
No, he has bold security, so if he used threat, we could have done something about it.
Yeah, that only works if you're the primary roller.
What's the resistance? 3?
Yeah. 5.
I'll spend 1 for reroll for 2. And 1 for piercing, so that should be enough.
That is indeed enough. So if that is 4, 5, 6. Yep, so that is exactly 5 work.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. And would you like to spend a momentum to do this in half the time?
Sure.
Alright, that brings it. Mag 2. Diff 1. Work. 9. Okay, and what you find out of the weapons and systems, these weapons have been very carefully made to use Tetrion, which is a weird frequency for our most races to use because Tetrions have random and momentum, so they don't always go in a coherent beam. But somehow they managed to make it work, and it seems that they especially designed it to throw pocket sand on enemy ships. They designed their weapon systems to throw Tetrions and flood enemy ship sensors with Tetrions to make it really hard to see what's going on.
With this information, we'd be able to make a counter in the future.
Possible. It'll make the rolls possible to make a counter for it.
Okay, cool.
You also find their torpedo systems, which I forgot what I called them. The torpedoes of the Endallan command ship are Tetrion plasma torpedoes. And these things
not good.
They are nasty. Another thing you notice is that at their weapon systems are really hidden, and if they are depowered, you would have a damn of a time trying to figure out if the ship was armed or even arming weapons.
Okay, do these... Go ahead.
Yeah, the Tetrion plasma torpedoes, they make a large cloud of Tetrion plasma that sticks to your ship. This is a lot more corrosive and actually does damage, but it also does the same sensor debuff. And it'll just hang around your ship up until the cloud is dispersed.
So persistent, yay.
It's persistent. And they have a hidden 3 quality, both for weapons.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But that's only if they're deactivated, right?
Yeah, that's their reactive. If they're like actually targeting you, it lights up. That's like normal.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
All right. Who is next? We have a difficulty 1 task for the next department. Dr. Bog or Rost?
I'll go ahead and go.
All right. Reason plus medicine, difficulty 1.
By the time he gets to doing that, L's already transmitting him the medical information.
There's more medical information, and he can be analyzing that specific medical information.
Sure.
I'll go ahead and spend them.
All right. Would you like assistance from your nurse? As that could totally be a thing.
Author, did you get my nurse joke earlier?
Yes. Okay. Someone get Raz. I got him. Why is it being slow? My internet is much faster than that.
It's doing that to all of us.
Uh,
Gotta be roll 20.
All right. So that is 2, 3, 4, 5 on a diff 1. So that is 4 momentum generated. As you are pouring through the data files, go ahead and give me a... Yeah, go ahead and give me a 7 challenge dice. Nice. That is 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 work with 3 resist. Would you like to spend a momentum for to reroll or just knock the resistance down? Okay. Two, 4. All right, so that is 6 work on the work track. And would you like to spend a momentum to do this in half the interval? Doctor?
What? I'm sorry, what?
Would you like to spend 1 momentum to do this in half the time?
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. All right. You find out from the air medical files that the buds and all of the biomass is kind of assigned to one individual Endalla, and it counts as one individual, both psychically and medically. But they seem to be less concerned about loss of biomass. It's annoying, but it's not a critical thing. So if they take too much damage, they can recoup that just by consuming mass. If something's infected, they'll just cut it off and let it rot, and then they can recoup that pretty easily. They do require a very humid environment. They do have means of surviving in drier environments, but it's very uncomfortable for them.
So there is really only one of them on our ship.
There is only one Endalla on the ship, and there was only one Endalla that attacked you. So yeah, all the BS that you've been through for the past couple of days have been the act of one individual. Now imagine an entire planet of these assholes.
Do they feel the pain that their buds feel?
They
feel their buds dying on those ships?
They do. Yeah. There appears to be some sort of a psionic awareness of it, and they're always aware of what their buds are doing. It appears that sometimes they can manually puppet a bud. Other times they basically give the bud a very simple script, and they just have it do it automatically.
Is there a maximum limit to how many buds they can have?
Depends on how much biomass they have. The more they eat, the more they can handle. There is... It seems to be implied that there is a limit to how many they can have, but they don't give a specific number. Probably for social reasons and probably for cunning reasons. Oh, and another thing you find out Dr. Bog is on the ship they have a specific sporing room. This room seems to have highly religious context. There's iconography on the there's iconography on the walls, and there appears to be a data pad and with some highfalutin a religious text on it. But it appears that they would go into this room and release their spores every once in a while. And this room is specifically designed to collect the spores into a chamber to be taken to a centralized location. It seems that they have to do this sporing process like once a week or so.
Okay, sounds like that's the party.
That's the party room. And also they have 47 in sexes, but there's no dimorphism between them. So they all look the same, they all act the same, they're all treated the same, but there is 47 distinct gametes that must come together to form a new individual.
No, it's Tumblr.
Oh God. Yeah, so that room is Tumblr. Anyways. Any additional questions or?
That I can think of offhand.
All right, and last
Maybe,
but not.
Take that back.
All right.
Can I? These things basically, they use their psionics to mess with. So,
Oh yes, that thing. They do have some shapeshifting abilities, but they augment that with psionics to make their shapeshifting or their tricks more convincing.
so I guess I need to look at that more closely on how to maybe develop it'd be really good to develop a vaccine that I can give to our crew that would help them block that or inhibit their ability to mess with it.
Okay. We're not gonna have time this episode, but you do have the starting blocks to work on that project.
But to stop their psionics?
Yep.
Starfleet has a shot for that.
Yeah, you have to tune it a bit. And now that you have their full medical record, it'll be much easier tuning it rather than eyeballing it.
Now you see that shot a lot in the Decipher version.
All right, last but not least, we have Ross, who's going to understand their ship engines.
Okay, so back to reason engineering.
Reason engineering, this is difficulty 1 based on everyone else on the ship kind of finding things out.
I guess that'll work.
Yep, that'll work. I mean, you could roll a challenge dice just to see, but I'm pretty sure you got enough for a breakthrough.
So I guess I'd be trying to figure out their warp drives or matter or their power generation, that kind of stuff.
Power generations and matter or antimatter. You again, let me look at the ship stats. They have matter, antimatter. Unlike the other ship, this ship is built to tank. It has lots of redundancies in their sensor operations yeah, sensor operations and structure. Their shield systems are much to look at, but this thing does have a blade of armor, so it can take a hit on the hull and keep going. It can't take a quantum torpedo spread to the hull and keep going, but engines are okay. The Svalin's ends a bit more powerful. As for are their means of making other ships look like things, they do have an extremely advanced hollow emitter system encrusted on the hull right next to the sensors, and they can
swiping that.
Yep, they can use their sensors to make their ships look like different things, and then they use the psionics to back that up. And they also have a supply of hollow probes to disguise as enemy ships.
So they can send a probe to another ship to make it look like something else.
Yep.
Yeah, we're taking some of those.
Yeah.
What was that? Don't give the bad guys anything that you wouldn't want your players to have.
Too late.
For 2 momentum, you can swipe the technology, and you can roll. Actually, we'll do it this way. You can roll 7 challenge dice, and the number you get is how many probes you have.
7.
Yep. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have, someone a note on the Svalinn sheet, probably under weapons, is that you have 6 hollow probes. As far as the hollow mimicry, that seems to be an integrated system. You would have to build a ship around it.
Okay, I'll just try and get schematics and that kind of thing.
Yep.
Like enough to replicate it.
Yep, get schematics enough to replicate it. You could build a shuttlecraft from the ground up to get it done. However, very mysteriously, as you put the schematics for the holomimicry on your computers, you set them up on computers, and then you put it away, and then you come back to it an hour later, and they are gone, just absolutely deleted, like they were never there.
Let L know about this.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him if he has any ideas on what could have caused something like this.
Well, L will say, even with deleted files, there's always a fragment, and it's those fragments together to restore the original file.
You may certainly try. This is going to be a control science difficulty 5.
Okay.
And that complication is going to be 3, and the computers will help.
And would Ross assist?
Ross can assist.
Control science?
Yep.
Alright. Take 6 threat.
Alright, hold off on that roll, because complication 4 now. No, complication 5, because it was at 3. Yeah, comp 5.
We're going at this. You really want to play this? All right. Focus computers.
Yes.
And
Testing a theory and practice is all fire. You've been doing computer stuff all day.
so that's -1 diff. Also, actually, all right, hold on. I said take 6 thread. How much are we actually spending here? Okay, so testing a theory. So that's
so -1. Yeah, -1 threat to get you up to 5 dice.
And computer expertise is a reroll.
Yep.
Oh, boom. All right. So reroll 1 of those.
Go ahead.
Or does reroll 1, or can I? Does it let me roll both?
Just 1. It's usually just 1 dice.
Okay. Oops. Hit the wrong button, but. Oh, I'll just take the first dice.
Yep, I'm just taking first dice. Ross can ship and the ship. Ship can assist.
Okay.
6. And a comp.
6 and a comp. So, do we have a means of dealing with that comp?
No.
Nope.
And it's given threat. We only got the 1 momentum.
Nope. That comp is gonna fire.
Alright.
You do manage to recover the information. So you have the information on hand. You also find out what deleted the information. Would you like to know more?
Oh, please.
I'll take that for the science officer question if Elle would allow it.
Sure.
It was a program from within the Svalin's computer itself. As soon as the computer saw the schematics and kind of got an idea of what it was, it began deleting it, and then it sent a signal out. It sent a signal back to Federation space.
And I'll isolate that program.
Nope. It is integrated it into your it's integrated into your operating system.
It's not a hack?
It is not a hack. This was designed into the ship.
Whoa, hold on. Don't look at learning this. This isn't they're doing. This would have to be Starfleet's doing.
Or there's a bigger problem than that.
Do we know the coordinates of that, like the destination of that message?
Nope. Spent 2 threat. Nope. It was bounced around and diffused through the subspace relays.
Out of character, I'm just going to say Section 31, but that's ends at that.
Exciting.
Or it could be there's a compromised coder, maybe.
That would be way above your pay grade and not even a thought in character. But something suspicious is going on. Would you report this to the captain?
Most definitely. Captain, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Did you catch that on the the situation with the computer sending off a signal when it saw the hollow emitter information?
Yeah.
Apparently, whatever did that was built into our systems and not a hack from these guys.
We'll follow up with the full report on that submarine and that signal that got sent out. Put in a full report to the XO and the captain.
I mean, these dudes were macking on our analysis system, so, and they did go into our sensors, so.
Yeah, we don't think it was a hack that they did. It was something built into our own operating system. Perhaps next time you talk to the Admiral, you should ask and see if they can get Starfleet intelligence to see where that system came, or that signal went to.
I mean, was the thing that they did to our sensors classified as a hack?
Yeah, the sensors thing would definitely classify as a hack in the very traditional sense, and putting something into a computer system to delete sensitive files of their technology wouldn't be beyond them. But the way this was implemented, it was as too deep into it was built into the operating system. So this would be like Windows itself going up and saying, no, I will not outrun this file, and deleting the programming.
Can I give an example, Calder?
Yep.
Alright, so out of character explanation, in character, not logic there. The Omega protocol is built into the operating system of Voyager. It got triggered. So even though most of the crew wouldn't know about it except the captain, it was literally built into the operating system.
Actually, yeah, Calder, or you would be familiar of the Starship operating system having safety triggers, stuff like that, much like the Omega protocol, where if the ship detects something or if it senses something, it will just automatically start firing safety procedures. But you are not familiar with a specific protocol regarding this, or regarding hollow emitters on the outside of a starship. That is not something you were briefed on when you took command.
I will send a report.
Yeah, you send a report or to Admiral Elnea and they'll get back to you. Otherwise, at the end of this adventure, you finally manage to make it to the edge of the Endalla star system. And it is just as you're dropping out of warp, and you see the star system and before you, that we will end for tonight. And that is our episode tonight. All right, everyone. Good job on catching on to some things. Yeah, like I said in Discord, I'm like very proud of all you guys for catching the cultural significance of cunning and foolishness and latching onto that. But yeah, next week we'll actually meet with the Endallan government and start formal communications with them. If you want to see next week's episode, please subscribe and hit the bell so you know when this episode comes out. Like, comment of how you think this first contact's going, and who do you think Ink scrubbed that information from the Svalinn's computers. Until next time, all hands brace for impact.